time, I would invite you to please rise for the singing of the national anthem by one of DVS's own, Tanya Thomas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Tanya. Please, everyone, feel free to take your seats. You know, today is such a special ceremony. Too few Americans would ever put New York City and military and veteran friendly in the same sentence. It's simply not true. Here in New York, where we became the first city to stand up a municipal agency that's solely dedicated to the strengths and needs of our veterans and their families, and we're surrounded by the community of so many leaders, allies, advocates, reservists, National Guardsmen, service members, and of course our over 210,000 veterans, plus their families, which gets us to a whole bunch of folks. So we're so thrilled to have this ceremony today and to honor our special guest. At this point, I will tell you it's such an honor for me as an old soldier still serving to recognize our next guest speaker. You know, Superintendent Caslin, our neighbors to the north, the United States Military Academy, we couldn't imagine how Superintendent Caslin could be replaced. But you know, the Army, with its wisdom, found exactly the right leader who, in addition to all of his command tours, leading soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, all around this world, also had a stint as the Assistant Surgeon General for Warrior Care and was the commander of the Warrior Transition Battalion. We have given Lieutenant General Williams a few months in his new tour of duty as West Point's 60th superintendent, but in just chatting this morning, that time is up. We know there's so much more that we can do, and we are so pleased to have West Point to our north, and this morning, the command team led by Superintendent Williams. Please join me in welcoming Superintendent Williams from West Point.
Deputy Mayor Thompson, Commissioner Sutton, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Staff Sergeant Bellavia and the Bellavia family, good morning. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this special event honoring a true American hero. And to our veterans and service members here today, A special welcome to you all, and thank you for your service. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. These are the words of the Army's warrior ethos, a set of principles by which every soldier lives, a code that defines both who we are and who we aspire to become. Staff Sergeant David Bellavia is the embodiment of that warrior ethos. Someone who, in the face of relentless enemy and unthinkable danger, put it all on the line to complete the mission. But more importantly, put it all on the line to save his fellow comrades. Up the river at West Point, we emphasize duty, honor, and country. But these three words are not exclusive to the United States Military Academy, but rather they are enduring ideals ingrained into the DNA of every man and woman who bears the title of American soldier, as well as with everyone who has worn the cloth of our nation. Like Staff Sergeant David Bellavia, enlisting in the Army in 1999 after college, he would leave his family behind after the terror attacks of 9/11 and go overseas to fight because he felt his country needed him. Like so many others, he answered his nation's call to duty in the same tradition of millions who came before him, like his grandfather, who 75 years ago fought on the beaches of Normandy, earning a Bronze Star for valor. While deployed to Kosovo, David's unit received orders to redeploy directly to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, and throughout the next year would see combat in places like Najaf, Mosul, and Bakuba. In November 2004, David's unit fought in the Second Battle of Fallujah, the bloodiest battle in the entire war of Iraq. While leading a squad clearing a block of buildings, he and his fellow soldiers came under intense fire from a group of enemy insurgents, trapping several soldiers inside one of the compounds, many of them severely wounded. Disregarding his own safety, David leapt into action, exchanging his rifle for a larger automatic weapon, and re-entered the house to engage the insurgents, allowing the trapped soldiers to escape to safety. After an armored fighting vehicle was unable to fire directly at the enemy, David entered that house again under intense enemy fire and engaged the insurgents, pursuing them until the threat was neutralized. That night, David Bellavia defied incredible odds, risking his own life to save the lives of an entire squad of fellow soldiers, while single-handedly clearing an insurgent stronghold and defeating the enemy. He is an example of amazing bravery, courage under fire, dedication to duty, and a selfless service, hallmarks of the American soldier. Even after leaving the Army, David continued with that commitment to service. We call it being a soldier for life, co-founding the veterans advocacy group Vets for Freedom, and helping to tell the incredible story of the America and its soldiers as an author and embedded reporter. Henry David Thoreau once said that where there is a brave man in the thickest of the fight, there is the post of honor. Staff Sergeant Bellavia, you stand before us today as a post of honor. We salute you and we thank you, not only for your actions that day in Fallujah, but for your service to our great nation and for your enduring example as a leader of character. Thank you.
Thank you so much, General Williams. Truly an honor to have you with us here today. And now it is my privilege to introduce someone to you who we're just so proud at DVS to report up through Deputy Mayor Phil Thompson. He's no stranger to New York City. He worked under Mayor Dinkins' leadership, and in recent years, after stints at Columbia and Barnard College, he's been an urban planner at MIT and brings a wealth of experience, patriotism, and value to our city. Please join me with a round welcome to Deputy Mayor Thompson. Thank you so much.
So let me say it's an honor to be here. Over the years, I spent about 9 years working in Colombia, South America, on the Pacific coast and the Amazon. I've worked in Southeast Asia a few years. I worked in Haiti after the earthquake there. And one of the things I think very often many Americans take for granted is peace and stability and the ability to pursue your own life and your own dreams without having to worry about threats and disruption. And that's because we have a strong, dedicated, and professional military. So it's a great honor just to be here with you, General Williams. It's always great to work with General Sutton, and of course, with our Medal of Honor winner here today, Sergeant Bellavia. Let me also say that we are in the shadow right now of the World Trade Center. It's right over there behind these buildings. This is where it happened. We are also standing in front of Nathan Hale, who was an early American fighter and a patriot who died fighting for the freedom of this nation. And we are in front of the first White House and General Washington's headquarters, and his desk is right on the second floor of this building. So it is appropriate that we're here in New York City right now. Mayor de Blasio is unable to attend because exactly right now is the New York City Police Department's graduation ceremony, and he's speaking before all the cadets who are transitioning into becoming police officers. And amongst them are a great number of veterans who are in that group, and he had to be there. Otherwise, he would have been here. Staff spent a long time trying to figure out if we could make this work. Both the mayor and I have family members who are veterans. In my case, just about everybody. And our commitment to this community is deeply personal and important. It's a rare privilege, however, to meet a Medal of Honor recipient, a true American hero in the flesh. That doesn't happen ever, really. On his 29th birthday, Staff Sergeant Bellavia displayed an unimaginable degree of gallantry, bravery, and resiliency, as General Williams described, placing himself again and again in the thick of the fight. And I'm sure Sergeant Bellavia would likely be the first to tell you that his actions on this day were no different than what his fellow platoon members would have done, and that he is no better or more heroic than his brothers and sisters with whom he served. And one of the brothers is right here, who he served with right in Fallujah. It's because of this humility and their continuous and selfless call to service that this post-9/11 generation of veterans represents our very best. Bravery, excellence, and a deep commitment to the values of our country. And we are proud to stand with our nearly 500,000 veteran service members and military families here in New York City who deserve our gratitude, but also our support and encouragement. On behalf of Mayor de Blasio and the City of New York, we thank you, we salute you, and we honor you for your selfless and exemplary service. Let me just read the proclamation from the mayor. Dear Staff Sergeant Bellavia, it is an honor to join with the New York City Department of Veteran Services in congratulating you on receiving the Medal of Honor for your valor and selflessness. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to the generations of men and women who serve in every branch of our armed forces and work tirelessly to protect our freedoms at home and abroad. And you have added to this tremendous legacy by demonstrating an unyielding commitment to uphold the values of patriotism and courage that define our service members. From answering the call to serve our country in the United States Army and supporting Operation Iraqi Freedom, to co-founding Vets for Freedom to advocate and uplift your fellow veterans, Your efforts have been an inspiration to all of us while helping to secure a better and brighter future. Your swift actions in Fallujah to protect the members of your platoon from harm are emblematic of your incredible bravery and willingness to put your own life on the line for others, and your leadership and tenacity will never be forgotten. I am proud to join with all those gathered in congratulating you on receiving this distinguished achievement and paying tribute to your heroic efforts. On behalf of the City of New York, we salute your exemplary service, and I offer my best wishes for continued success in all that you do. Sincerely, Bill de Blasio, Mayor. So on behalf of Mayor de Blasio and the City of New York, we thank you, and please join me in welcoming Staff Sergeant David Bellavia.
Thank you so very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just want to say, you know, New York City leads the world in so many different industries and so many different fields. And it's so great to see that New York City also leads the world and the country in supporting veterans, supporting soldiers and Marines and sailors. And Commissioner Sutton, a great deal of respect to what you're doing. Deputy Mayor, thank you, sir, on behalf of the Mayor of New York City. General Williams, West Point, that is a jewel for New York State, but for the entire country. And you know, West Point recently had a pretty tragic accident that happened. And the way America came together, you know, a cadet, a future leader, that's a part of our family. That's a part of our shared legacy. One of those guys is sitting right here. And I'm gonna embarrass him right now by making him stand up. This is David Bowden. He is a 1st Platoon Alpha Company 2-2 Ramrod that served with me in Fallujah. That is my brother. I share nothing but the institution of the Army with him, and that means that I share more than blood with him. He is closer to me than my own kin. And look how uncomfortable he is. That makes me even feel warmer on a warm day. That's what we are. That's what we are. Look, there's 1,000,005 reasons why people want to talk about why we're different. Our skin color, how much money our parents had, what religion we are, who we love. You know what? The United States military, that doesn't mean anything. We are one team. We are one force. We are brothers and sisters at arms. And when we come home, we have to be there for each other. We would never dream of leaving each other behind on the battlefield. So when we come home, we don't leave each other behind when we come home either. We matriculate back to normalcy. We hire our own, we put veterans up on a pedestal because that is emblematic of New York, it's emblematic of our country, and it represents the uniform we wore with such pride. Our families understand that we are leaving behind a legacy of service. You don't have to do it with a rifle and a grenade. It helps to have a rifle and grenade. But you don't need to do it. You can serve in any way whatsoever. Represent your community, represent your country. America is worthy of any sacrifice. Our rights that we have, we own our mistakes. We are always pushing forward to be a better country and a better people. And that's what this uniform represents. And that's what I'm proud to have served and defended. New York City, you welcome me home like I'm a son of New York. I'm from Buffalo. But you know what? I feel like a New Yorker today, and I appreciate that love. I feel that kindness. And I pray that every veteran who served, whether you have an 8,000 square foot apartment on the east side or you have no house at all and you're homeless, every veteran can feel 1/10 of the love and support you've shown me, because every single veteran is worth it. Every New Yorker is worth it. This is what we do voluntarily and professionally. We will defend this. Thank you so very much for your kindness. Thank you so very much for your love. I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Please be seated. Staff Sergeant Bellavia, thank you so much for your words, for your example, for your grit, for your grace, for your gratitude. You know, I can't, and I know you wouldn't want me to close this ceremony today without recognizing two people who are here on the dais who represent so many. First of all, you've met Tanya Thomas, who sang the national anthem. Tanya is our lead for the Libby Dole, the Senator Dole Hidden Heroes Caregiver campaign. She is a Gold Star spouse herself, and we are honored to have you representing all of the family members, including our Blue Star families, Gold Star families, and thank you so much for your service, Tanya. Families serve too. Now, when I heard Staff Sergeant Bellavia speak a little earlier this morning, I heard him talk about love. The kind of love that only those of us who have served in battle, having each other's backs, really, really understand. And so it is only right that I bring up Command Sergeant Major Love, the other half of the command team, who represents the backbone of our Army, non-commissioned officers. Sergeant Major Love, if you wouldn't just mind coming up here and give us a few of your words from your perspective as a Command Sergeant Major. Please join me in welcoming Command Sergeant Major Love.
Well, I was not prepared to say anything, but what I will tell you is, first and foremost, our nation is the greatest nation in the world because of non-commissioned officers just like this today. And we're a grateful nation, and we've got soldiers in all ranks that really make our Army special. And it's just a great day to be a soldier. Very proud to serve with warriors like Staff Sergeant Bellavia. And couldn't be more proud for General Williams and I to come here today and just be a small part of this ceremony. And once a soldier, always a soldier. Thank you so much.
Command Sergeant Major Love? Command Sergeant Major Love doesn't know this, but he and I are going to lead all of us in a round of God Bless America. Please stand up as we listen to the sounds of freedom.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm going to let you start.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, wide and far. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you all. We'll all keep our day jobs. The ceremony is now complete. Thank you again, Staff Sergeant Bellavia. Our work has only begun as veterans. Welcome to the veterans community. God bless. New York City loves you.
Everybody, pose for a quick picture.